Hey everyone, so today I'm gonna show you how to make chicken tacos. So what you're gonna need is some chicken, a pound of chicken. You could do chicken thighs or chicken breasts. I'm gonna do thighs today. A cup of frozen corn or canned corn, a cup of salsa, a couple teaspoons of minced garlic, taco seasoning packet. I'm going to do a half can of black beans, half diced onion, half the juice of a lime, and some cilantro. So let's get started. Okay, so I already have the chicken in the crock pot. I'm just going to start adding everything in. First, the taco seasoning packet. Then I'm going to do diced half a medium onion. Then the corn. Half can of black beans. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons minced garlic. And then I'm going to measure out a cup of salsa. And then the juice of half of a lime. And I decided I'm going to add a little bit of cilantro. I just have this paste. I didn't really measure it. I just gave it a quick stir. That's what it's looking like. I'm going to put the lid on this and I'm going to cook it for about 4 hours on low, or you could do 6 to 8 on high. And I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's done. I'll show you guys how I make my oatmeal, I guess you could say it's oatmeal raisin banana cookies. I forgot to add this in. You're going to need 2 bananas, 2 overly ripe bananas. You're also going to need 1.5 cups of quick oats. I only have old-fashioned oats, so I'll show you what to do once we're done mixing it all together. Some raisins, about a half cup of raisins, teaspoon of vanilla. Gonna do probably half teaspoon of cinnamon. These 2 are optional. You really only need the bananas, raisins, and oats. Or you could swap this out for chocolate chips. You could do peanut butter added in. You could add in some walnuts, almonds. It's really up to you. This is the way that I like to do it. So let's get started. So I got my bananas here. I'm just going to peel them, quarter them up, or break them into little pieces, put them in the bowl. The riper your bananas are, the sweeter it's going to be. So you don't want to use a banana that's barely ripe. You're not going to have very sweet cookies then. This is where you're getting your sugar. You don't need to add sugar then. So then once I have those chopped up in there, I'm just going to mush it down with a fork. Make sure they're all nice and mushed. I got them mashed all nice. They should look something like that. Kind of like baby food, banana baby food. Once that is all nicely mashed, you're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla is just going to make it taste so good. And then I'm going to do a half teaspoon of cinnamon, just because I don't want to overpower it. I don't want to accidentally put too much. So I decided that I'm just going to start with half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Pour that in. And then I'm just going to mix this together first before I start adding in the oats and the raisins. While I'm mixing all this together, I forgot to mention that I have my oven preheating right now to 350 degrees. So by the time I have all of this incorporated together, it'll be ready for me to throw it all in. So there is the banana, vanilla, cinnamon. It smells amazing. I already measured out 1.5 cups of the oats. Mix this. Okay, so like I said, you want to use quick oats because if I'm using these regular rolled oats, it's going to be way too chewy if I'm going to put them in right away. It works, but in order to use these, I'm going to have to wait about 20 minutes. Let this sit for about 20 minutes before I throw it in so they get a little bit mushy from the banana mixture. Or else if I throw them in too early, they'll be too raw still. Okay, so I measured out 1/2 cup of raisins. Kind of stuck together. I'm just going to unbreak these a little bit. Like I said, instead of raisins, you can do 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. This just makes it a little bit healthier. So these you can make these as like breakfast bars. It's kind of like a granola bar. So yeah, you can have these in the morning as like a quick snack, a quick breakfast to take with you, or you could have it on the side of your breakfast. You could have this as a snack during the day. This is a very good recipe to use as a snack or a breakfast. I just tried it. It tastes really good and they're not even baked yet. So everything's all mixed together. I'm going to let this sit for 20 minutes and I'll get back to you after they're done sitting and put them on a tray. So this has been sitting out for about 20 minutes now, just shy of 20 minutes. I'm going to start putting them in this tray. Sorry, this tray is from a different video for cookies. Alright. So in the recipe it says just grab some, flatten it out, stick it on. So that's what we're going to do. Just like so. You know, I want to do mine into little bars. I don't want to do circles. You can do whatever shape you'd like. It's up to you. It's your recipe. So I'm going to do kind of like little granola bars. Kind of like that. That is what these bars are looking like. I decided to rotate them that way. They fit on the pan better. I already have my oven preheated, 350 degrees. I'm going to throw them in. And it says to let them cook for 12 to 15 minutes. I'm going to do 14 and see what that looks like when they are done. I just took these out. I had them in for about 14.5 minutes. They look more brown in person. You'll notice that once they're fully cooked, they're more brown and they're firm to the touch. So that's how you make the oatmeal raisin bars. So I decided to make some Spanish rice, and this is how I make mine. I already made the sauce that you're going to put in the rice, which is basically 3 tablespoons tomato paste, 1 tomato bouillon, chicken bouillon cube, and then 1 teaspoon minced garlic. I also added 1/4 of a medium onion in there, and then I just added a little bit of the water that I'm going to add to the rice, blended it up, so this is what it looks like. I added a dash of salt also. Oh, and then 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, because I don't have ground cumin, and I know that it's going to get like more. It's supposed to be a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, but I didn't have that. So I have my rice right here. I'm just going to rinse it. Rinsing it helps for getting all the extra starch off of it. I have my pan heating up right now with a tablespoon of oil. Once this gets nice and hot, I'm going to add my rice that I already rinsed. And then I'll start browning that, and I'll show you where I'm at. Alright, so I'm about to add my rice. I'm going to give it a good stir. Start browning it. You want to keep stirring it. You don't really want to leave it alone, or else that's when it'll burn. So my rice is almost nearly toasted. It's coming along here. I don't know if you can see on here, but you can definitely tell. You can there's a smell. You can tell when it's getting there. It smells different. It's got a golden color to it. So I think at about this point, I'm gonna add this tomato mixture. Lower the heat to like medium. It smells good instantly. That, make sure you get all of it. Alright, bring this in. You want it all nicely coated. You don't want to add the water and then this. You want to get the flavor into the rice. Okay. And then I have the rest of the water, which is like the rest of the water that I used to make the mixture, and then another cup. So 2 cups total of water. So I got all the water in there. I just shook it up in this, covered it, shook it up, so I got the excess tomato mixture out. Give it a little stir. You don't want to stir it too much. You don't want to break up the starches off the rice. Okay, so I'm going to let this come to a simmer. Once it's simmering, give it a quick stir, put the cover on, and then let it simmer for about 18 minutes or so. It's already starting to bubble. So I'll get back to you when it's done. Forgot to mention that you're going to want to cover it and put the heat to low. Started simmering already, so I'm going to set my timer for about 18 minutes to start, and I will see where it's at. Meanwhile, I think this is about done. It's been 4 hours. So I'm going to check it. I forgot I put a paper towel over it. Okay, I'm going to check the temperature on these. Yep, these are done. I tend to cook pretty quick when it's like the only thing in here. Alright, so that's all done. I'm going to take those out and shred them. There's my shredded chicken. I just shredded it with the egg beater again. It's way easier. Just going to dump it back in. Give it a stir. Looks good. And then my rice. Got like 9 minutes left on the rice. Simmering on low. Everything should be done soon. Alright, so I set this aside after 18 minutes and let it sit for 5. I'm going to fluff it up. it looks really good. So that's what it should look like. And then I shredded, well, I think I already showed you this, but this is the chicken tacos. I let it sit in the juice, soaking up the juice. I'm gonna plate it up and show you what it looks like. Here's the finished product. Got the tacos with some cheese on top and the rice on the side. This is actually my husband's plate, or else I would have put sour cream on it. So that's what it looks like. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.